All right. Good morning, colleagues. Today, I want to talk to you about something that profoundly impacts our university culture and our collective effectiveness. And this is the practice of commendation among faculty members. We work in an environment where intellectual rigor is paramount, where critical thinking is our currency. But somewhere along the way, many of us have conflated being critical with being productive. I'm here to tell you that commendation, not condemnation, is what builds the kind of faculty community that drives institutional excellence. First, let me be clear what I mean by commendation, because it's fundamentally different from what most people practice, which is giving compliments. When you compliment someone, you're making them feel good, right? You can say nice presentation, great outfit, I like your teaching style. Um, these are pleasant, they are kind, but they lack substance and specificity. Commendation is different. Commendation recognizes meaningful work, acknowledges genuine effort, and validates substantive contributions. When you commend a colleague, you are saying, I see the rigor you brought to that research design. I recognize the innovative pedagogical approach you develop for that challenging course. I understand the hours you invested in mentoring these graduate students. You see the difference? Commendation speaks to effectiveness, not just failing. And effectiveness is precisely what our university needs from each of us. Every faculty member in this room pursued and earned a terminal degree, right? You know what that journey requires? The late nights, the intellectual wrestling, the perseverance through setbacks. When you commend a colleague, you are acknowledging that shared understanding. You are recognizing someone who has done work worthy of respect from someone who understands what work entails. Now I need to address what I have observed too often in our halfways, our department meetings, and unfortunately, even in our formal reviews, and that is condemnation. Some some members have condemned their default mode of interaction. They criticize a colleague's research methodology without acknowledging its innovative elements. They dismiss a teaching approach because it differs from their own. They undermine a service contribution because they weren't the ones to think of it first. Why does this happen? Sometimes it's strategic. A misguided belief that tearing down others will somehow elevate one's own position in the eyes of administration. Let me be unequivocal. This strategy fails. Leadership notices, but not in the way the condemner hopes. Other times, condemnation flows from what research calls intrinsic negativity, a habitual pattern of seeing problems rather than possibilities, deficits rather than strengths. Whatever the source, condemnation corrodes collegiality and undermines the collaborative spirit essential to academic excellence. So, what are my expectations? First, practice active observation. Pay attention to what your colleagues are doing. Read their publications. Attend to their presentations. Notice their contributions in committees. You cannot commend what you don't use and you don't see. And you cannot see what you are looking for. Second, be specific and timely in your commendations. When a colleague has successfully navigated a difficult curriculum revision, tell them. When someone has published work that advances the field, acknowledge it. When a faculty member has mentioned a struggling student to success, recognize that investment. Don't wait for the annual reviews. Commendation works best when it's immediate and particular. Third, understand that commendation is indeed political, but it's not in the best sense of that word. Politics has its roots. It's about how we organize ourselves in community. Commendation is a tool that builds the kind of community where people thrive, where collaboration flourishes, where innovations happen. Those of us who commend effectively while also doing your work excellently will be noticed positively by university leadership. You are demonstrating not just individual competence, but the capacity for leadership and the commitment to institutional culture. Fourth, eliminate condemnation from your professional vocabulary. This doesn't mean you can't offer constructive critique. Peer review and intellectual challenge are necessary, are essential to our work. But there is a world of difference between saying the research design has some methodological limitations we should discuss, and the research is fundamentally flawed and shouldn't have been funded. Those are two different things. What happens when commendation becomes our culture? Faculty members become more effective. Research shows that recognition of meaningful work enhances motivation, improves performance, and increases innovation. When people genuinely seen, when people feel genuinely, seen and valued for their contributions, they contribute more and better. Collaboration increases. Faculty who commend each other build trust. Trust enables risk-taking. Risk-taking leads to more innovation. This is how academic fields advance. Our university becomes stronger. Prospective faculty want to work in environments where their contributions will be recognized. Current faculty stays longer and remain more engaged. Students benefit from faculty who model mutual respect and intellectual generosity. And here is what matters most. You will find your work become more fulfilling. When you train yourself to notice and acknowledge the good work happening around you, you become more attuned to possibility. You shift from scarcity mindset, where recognition is a zero-sum game, to abundance mindset, where excellence anywhere enriches everyone. Colleagues, we didn't enter academia to be a mediocre. No. We came here to pursue excellence, to advance knowledge, to shape minds, to build something meaningful. That work requires just individual brilliance, but collective strength. Commendation builds that strength. Look around you. See the good work. Name it. Celebrate it. And watch what happens when we create a culture where faculty effectiveness is both practiced and recognized. Thank you very much for your time, and see you some other time. Thank you.